Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. My name is Matthew Fontaine, and I hope you are having or had a great morning today. I did not. I had to wake up at 6 in the morning today to do class registration. I know that makes me sound like a bitch, but I'm still going to complain about it a little bit. It's a little annoying. The only thing that was more annoying than having to wake up at 6 in the morning was watching all the classes I registered for trickle out of my hands. The way my college sets it up is that if you have more credits, that means you get an earlier time to pick your courses. So seniors and juniors obviously will have first dibs because they have more credits. I'm a sophomore, which means I'm kind of in the middle of the pack. I'm in an accelerated program, so I think I'm a little bit ahead of some other sophomores. That being said, I still had to deal with many courses that I signed up for not being available. Well, actually not many, too, but at 6 in the morning, it's kind of a big deal. To my defense, I've not needed to wake up at 6 in the morning for a while because I set up my schedule to have my first class at 10 o'clock, so I can definitely sleep in. But that's no longer a worry. It's in the past. I don't have to worry about that until a few months from now when I have to do class registration for my junior year. I'm so excited for that, but it doesn't matter because here we are today. We're here, the second episode of the Morning Tapes. We're all excited. And let's go. All right, so kicking us off, I think I'm going to introduce the new segment of the show, which is the news of the film and television industry. Today, we are focusing on two new projects. These pieces of information will be slightly old when the episode comes out, but that's okay because I feel like they're still worthy to talk about and discuss. So, the new installation to the Scream franchise, Scream number 7, has been announced, and the trailer is out now. I watched the trailer for it, and to be honest, I have mixed opinions on it. First of all, most concerningly, it is in the territory of dump months. For those of you who are unaware of what dump months are, they are the time periods of the year where movies are released because they are expected to have a low audience during that time. So, movies with maybe a poorer production quality or a poor storyline, or companies that are aware that the movie is going to be bad, they release them during these time periods of the year because they know that the audience will be low. These periods of time are typically January, February, or August through mid-September. Scream 7 happens to release on February 27th, 2026. In other news, we are talking about the release of Stranger Things Season 5, the final season to the very large Netflix show. Today, Netflix just released the final trailer of the Stranger Things Season 5 Phase 1. I think it's fair to say that they'll release more trailers for the upcoming season or upcoming phases of the 5th season. November 26th, Phase 1. Christmas Day, they're releasing an episode, and then New Year's Eve, they are also releasing the final episode in the series finale. This season is planned to be huge. Multiple actors have said that this is going to be the best season yet, and that we are apparently not ready. There was a rumor out there that said that every episode was going to be feature film length, which means like an hour and a half and above. And I'm glad that they did not do that because the episodes don't necessarily need to be that long. I do feel like if they absolutely wanted to do that, they absolutely could, because with the universe of Stranger Things, there's definitely a lot to explore with that. So I'm personally excited to, see the finale of this show and how they wrap it up. Of course, I'm a little bit nervous because there's rumor out there that this entire thing was just imaginary. The rumor is that the entire show was just the game of Dungeons and Dragons, which I feel like would be a very stupid conclusion to this insane, adventurous series that everyone loves. I don't know, maybe I'm just a dumb film student. Maybe it'll be cool. What do I know? I'm not the head writer of Stranger Things. I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, so that'll do it for the news segment of the show. So we'll most likely continue this news segment with every episode and every installment to the show. I think it's a good idea. If no one else agrees with me, then we'll cut it. But yeah. I don't know. I like just talking to myself in my room for like 20, 30 minutes being like, go check out this movie. Or if my movie comes out December 19th, it's called Gone Awry, and I've been working on it all year, so make sure to go check it out. So with that transition, let's talk about Gone Awry. The last episode, we discussed the pre-production of Gone Awry. The script is finished, thank Christ. And now it's time to just get the final roles in there and see what is up. So, this is going to sound really selfish, but I play the main character, James Dolly. I was really stupid with the names, and for most of them, there's usually a pun or a reasoning. So the majority of Gone Awry will follow the perspective of James and how he lives his life as a college student. Obviously, there's going to be some parts of myself in there. A lot of the characters in the film are kind of portrayed by the actor that's playing them. Of course, I don't want like someone with a very insecure personality to play this big frat guy, because that's unrealistic and that's not going to be it's not going to be very good for the film. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. So moving on to other characters, there's a few other people that I need to still contact and just make sure they're able to help out with the film. But yeah, for the most part, we have all of our characters and we're going to go over them today. So we can dive into the other actors of Gone Awry and why I decided to give each of the actors their position and their role. Starting us off, we have Ian Rosenay, who will be playing the character Kyle Tulip. Kyle Tulip will be a supporting actor of James Dolly. I don't want to say too much about the character because I don't want to spoil too much. I really want my audience to sort of, not obviously not go in blind because, I want them to be interested in watching the film. However, I do not want to give out too much information because the film is not going to be extremely long. And obviously, you show too much information, you show the whole movie. If you see the whole movie in the trailer, what's the point of watching the movie, But yeah, Kyle Tulip will be a supporting actor. I wanted Ian to be in this role because he's a very talented individual. Ian Rosenay has worked in a lot of my other projects for school purposes. When I got the idea to make Gone Awry, he was one of the first people I thought of to be part of the project. We were roommates last year in college, and we got together very well. I would just be really excited to have him part of the project. When writing Gone Awry, I wanted Kyle Tulip's character to have a brother in the film. And this worked out perfectly because Ian Rosenay also has a brother, Harry Rosenay. What I know of him, he puts a lot of time and effort into each and every project that he works on. He's been acting for years now, and he partakes in a lot of school events. And I mean, obviously, I would really love him to be a part of the film. However, he is a very busy individual. We're trying to make the schedules work out, but it might not end up working in the long run. And if it doesn't end up happening, then the brother concept of the film will be scrapped. But that's okay because we have a secondary option of what the film could be. Instead of the brother character, we will be switching to a different actor, and we will be having the role of a dorm roommate and best friend. This role of the new best friend and roommate will be played by Nicholas Shalhoub, who will be playing the character Rocco Ray. Nicholas and I have been roommates for both years of college. Nicholas also puts a lot of time and effort into each and every project that he works on. We've been dorm roommates for 2 years now, and I feel like that this role would suit him the most. Rocco Ray's character would be a very laid-back character, and I guess a frat guy, if you want to call him that. I'm still deciding if maybe we put him in a fraternity, maybe we can do something fun in the film. I like to have some fun with Rocco Ray's character. First of all, fire name. Can we just get a round of applause for that? I mean, that's great writing by me. And either way that this turns out, however casting goes, and if schedules don't line up, then I'm very happy either way that this lines up because both are very talented, and I'm really glad to have either of them in the project. Now let's move on to characters in the Gone Awry film who are much closer to the James Dolly character. For casting, we have Mitchell Maselli to play the character Brady Steeler. Brady Steeler will be James Dolly's direct roommate. In the film, it'll be very apparent, you can't have one without the other kind of concept. But Mitchell and I have been direct roommates for both years of college. Ian, Nicholas, Mitchell, and I were all roommates last year for our freshman year of college. And during that year, obviously, we did grow very close to each other. Last year in our dorm, we had a suite of 8 individuals, 4 bedrooms. And for Mitchell and I, we shared a bedroom because we were direct roommates. So for the 2 characters, I wanted them to be, very close to each other. So, I just felt like it was very fitting to have Mitchell be a part of this role. It'll sort of be like maybe a comic relief of the film. because it's going to be a horror film, but I do feel like some comedy aspects would be beneficial to the overall story. And that about wraps it up for all the characters that I have pretty much locked down. There are some more individuals that I need to reach out to see if they're interested in being part of the film. I have a lot of people that I would love to be part of the film. However, it's getting to that time of the school year where scheduling is more difficult than usual. And there are plenty of shots in the film where I can pretty much get on my own. But for certain scenes that do require a lot of individuals to act, it has certainly been a challenge to make that happen. But I think, I think we'll get there. I know I'm just a stupid college student, but I will say that when creating a film or a large project, you can't expect everything to go right because that's not realistic. Everything's not going to go right unless you're just the best filmmaker of all time. Actually, no, even then, I think you still run into problems and situations because this is real life and nothing's perfect. However, maybe imperfection will help out the film because I don't think I mentioned this in the first episode, but I am going for a sort of old vintage 80s to 70s theme of horror. I sort of feel like these years of horror really inspired what horror films are today. The only director that really stands out to me when I think of old horror is John Carpenter, director of Halloween, The Thing, Christine. A lot of people don't know the film Christine, turns out. It's a horror movie about a car. And when I was a kid, it scared the shit out of me. And I think that was actually one of the first horror movies I ever watched. No, I really do love John Carpenter, and you'll definitely see some inspirations from him inside Gone Awry. I will say this about Gone Awry, you get a little sneak peek of the visuals. Even though we are filming on an iPhone, there will be grain added in post-production. I really do love the look of grain in film. I really do think grain adds to the character of a film, and I know that is the most cliche film student thing to ever say in the history of ever. But that's just how I feel. It makes sense for me, so we're adding it in. Adding to this theme of old 70s and 80s horror, I wanted to use music from that time period. Here's the thing, though. I would love to use certain songs from that time period, and I'm really debating on whether or not I want to just stick with non-copyrighted music, or do I want to go with songs that I know would benefit the film, however, not going to make any money from it. For example, I want to use the song Don't Fear the Reaper from Blue Oyster Cult as the opening, the opening credits. And I already have the edited video file in Premiere Pro right now. It looks amazing, and it's exactly what I want from a film. However, do I want to use copyrighted music? So I'm still going to decide what I want to do with that. But yeah, when you watch Gone Awry, expect some serious 80s, 70s horror vibe. The film is going to be a very fun time. I'm having fun with the film right now. I want all my cast to have fun with the film as well. But I will say this, even though we are filming on an iPhone and a camcorder, we will be doing multiple takes, and I might annoy my cast, and I might never talk to them ever again after this project. Just kidding. Hopefully not. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And I think that kind of wraps up this episode. We sort of discussed everything that I wanted to go over. Make sure you tune in to next week's episode while we get ready for the final preparations for the production of Gone Awry, as well as discussing other projects for Font Films, such as the upcoming Disney vlog releasing this Thanksgiving, which is another project that I'm actually looking forward to. I think you all will love that as well. You guys will be receiving plenty of Font Films content in these final months of 2025, so get ready. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.